Welcome back to His and Hers Movie Podcast. This is episode number 22, and we are covering the film Swallow. I am one half of your hosting duo, JP. Joining me tonight on this June 8th, 2020 is Carly. We are podcasting out of Carly's house here on High Street in southwestern Pennsylvania. This is the third in a row.
I know. It's kind of weird.
Right.
A little bit weird.
Yeah, a little bit weird.
We have gotten very close, if you will, on the couch.
Too close.
No, I think we are fine. But, yeah, so we are here. We are back on the couch. And what are you looking at?
I was looking at the movies.
Oh, don't look at them yet. I'm going to read them. Anyway, so we are back here. And, how are you doing, JP?
Well, we just recorded an hour-long breakdown of Scream Queen, A Nightmare on My Street, the new Mark Patton documentary, the Shudder exclusive, and we recorded that for Netflix and Mother Effin' Chill.
We did.
So look for that. That'll be coming out soon. We did do another Netflix and Chill episode. I'm pretty excited. We're rocking and rolling here, man. I'm off for the next month of 22 shots. I just have the summer series here going, and should have plenty of time to do shows with you on His and Hers and Netflix and Chill.
Yes, I am a her. It's pretty exciting. It's weird. This is episode 22 of this show, and that was, I believe, episode 32 of Netflix and Chill. So if you want to demonstrate how much we dropped the ball on that show, that is it. No, I'm kidding.
Well, this show's completely weekly, though. Right?
Yes, correct. Netflix and Chill was originally supposed to be bi-weekly. That was what I'm getting at. But, yeah, so that was fun. Definitely look out for that. Other than that, I've just been doing the same old crap for the most part. I went to breakfast at a restaurant with my dad yesterday, so that was cool.
Yeah, and he gave you the low down and dirty.
Yes, he works at a Dollar Tree.
That sounded perverted.
It did. That was gross. And as you guys know, some of you may know, some of you may not care, but Dollar Trees sometimes have Blu-rays and DVDs, and my dad was like, hey, I'll tell you anytime we get some in. And I was like, okay, that would be cool. And since I was with him, he was like, hey, you want to just come to Dollar Tree and check out the back room where they keep all the stuff boxed up until they put it on the shelves? And I was like, heck yeah, I do. So I went there, and he opened some of the boxes with the DVDs and Blu-rays, and I ended up leaving there with 11 movies for a doll hair. 11 horror movies, that is. So
if you don't know, now you know.
Yes. So yeah, that was cool. They actually had a decent amount of stuff, both horror and non-horror. I was surprised because, it's kind of obviously going to be hit or miss with dollar films, but got some decent things. I got Incident at a Ghostland, The Belko Experiment, Bad Milo,
all good movies.
Oxford Murders, Fear. Inc. Or Inc.
That one's good. That one's underrated.
Yeah, so among some other things, that was pretty.
Yeah, I'm mad about that. Was there any that you skipped on?
Yeah, I forget what they were. There was this vampire movie. There was a Scooby-Doo movie. There was a couple. I forget exactly what they were, and I think there might have been duplicates of the movies too. I don't think those were all of them there.
Well, thanks for buying me stuff.
You're welcome. But yeah, that was cool. So
I went
to
ours today, and it didn't have nothing.
Really? I don't know. He said that they were supposed to put them out on Mondays, I guess, is when they.
It just annoys me because I want to ask the people in there, but I feel like none of them know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, probably. They probably don't care. And plus, I don't know. I know that at least at my dad's store, they're always short-staffed, and he says it's very hard to keep up with putting things out on the shelf, so it's there could very well be movies jam-packed back there for 3 months, and they might be lazy and not put it out, but, yeah, but, guys, be on the lookout at your Dollar Trees, because I assume I mean, I don't really know, but I assume a lot of Dollar Trees probably get the same type of stuff. That's what I see, at least in groups. It seems like a lot of people post the same movies they find there, so that was fun and exciting. That's about the most exciting highlights.
Made me mad.
Why?
Because I want that stuff.
All right, well,
I'm taking it.
No. Next time I will tell you.
Ugh. Grr, grr, grr,
So,
grr.
I also got together with Austin of, Movie versus Movie podcast, and we watched our 2 movies that we'll be doing on the next show. We did that also. That all happened yesterday, because I went to breakfast with my father, and then I did that, so we watched those movies, and it was Taxi Driver and Joker, so we're doing, like, more dark films, not necessarily horror films, but 2 just darker movies on that next episode. Be on the lookout for that. Just a shameless plug.
Nice. So, I had a pretty eventful week. I, watched some moves.
Yes.
Had a good night on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I went out to the fights, UFC 250 with my friends, which we like to do.
Yes.
It was a good time, good fights. I really enjoyed the night. Feels good to watch sports again. Always love sports. I was craving sports so much, and it's one of 2 big things that got back in my life that I need. The other thing is moves.
Yes.
Which they did announce this Friday that they're going to show Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Back to back to back, and I want to go.
At the drive-in.
Yeah. Gonna try to go, because I'm off 22 shots this week, and next week, and the week after.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be cool. I do want to go to the drive-in more. I mean, it's supposed to be a pretty nice summer, so it probably will be pretty nice days, nice nights to go, and I miss moves as well, so I'm looking forward to that. Even if we show up, well, I don't know. Late.
Well, he said they don't start till about 9 something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so the box. Okay, yeah.
The box office opens early, but
yeah.
I doubt they'll sell out for Back to the Future.
Yeah, but yeah, that'll be a fun time.
I mean, it's gonna go pretty late. That's like what,
that's
4
like
and a half
marathon.
hours of movies?
Yeah, because aren't those movies kind of long too?
Are they? I just figured they were 90 minutes.
Oh, maybe, I don't know. I always picture them being longer, but
they feel long.
Yeah,
Because a lot happens.
Yeah.
I love those movies.
I have only seen them once.
10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Mm.
I don't want to hear it. The third one is great.
I don't know.
I don't want to hear it.
I don't remember really. I just don't know. I'm sorry. Me too. Stop it. Come on, dude. Okay, anyway,
Since we missed Jaws is over the weekend.
Hey.
And Jurassic Parks.
Hey, stop. Hey. Listen.
I hate working the weekends, damn it.
I know, it sucks because...
It ruins our friendship.
Our what?
Our friendship.
I heard a different syllable at the start there, but whatever. Yeah, it sucks because I am off every weekend, which is super nice, but JP is not, and he's like my only friend, so... I'm just kidding, I have like one other friend, but
Who?
Kaylee.
Hear that, Austin? One other friend.
No, I mean like a friend that's readily available to like just... She's always inviting me to
Hear
like,
that,
do
Austin?
crap.
You're not available.
Well, dude, I mean, come on.
Alright, whatever. So, yeah, what else, man? I mean, it was kind of, we did 22 shots this week. It was me, Jeremy... Well, actually, I did 2 22 shots this week. So, I did... The Tales from the Crypt, we finished that up.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Very solid season. Very fun reviewing all those with moods. That should post this week on Patreon. Maybe today or tomorrow. And then the other show, episode 187, that one is the Crazies versus the Crazies OG versus remake. I think people will be very surprised at our opinions on those films. And we also reviewed a bonus film on there called At Your Door or Right at Your Door or something. Very of the time. And then also Dave and somebody else was on there.
On what?
That
Which
show.
one? Wait,
Derek.
Yeah.
Was it Derek?
Wait, which show is it?
The Crazies.
All right, I am sorry. I don't know.
Were you paying attention?
No, I was. No. No, I don't know who was on that show though. Either way, I don't remember.
No, it wasn't Derek.
Dude, there was someone on that show though. I remember you guys specifically.
I know Dave was.
Announcing like there being another guest.
Was it just me, Dave, Jeremy, and?
I swear.
No, Mike wasn't there.
No, I know he wasn't because he asked to be on, and then you guys said you had.
I think it was just us four, actually.
I swear.
Dude, my memory is shot if I can't remember this.
If it wasn't Derek or Mike, it's like no one though, because like Dave is like given, but like.
Yeah, I think it was just us four.
All right then.
Pretty sure. Anyway, that'll come out next week. So, pretty cool. It was a fun episode. We talked a lot about all kind of stuff. Actually, it was a very good episode. Very funny episode. Made fun of Jeremy a little bit. It was good times. So with that said, you want to get into the stuff that we watched?
I do, yes.
Yeah, you can go. Actually, let me go first because my phone is dying.
Oh, buddy.
All right, so first up, I watched Zombie 1979. Watched it on 4K. Get up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I watched it on 4K.
Mm-hmm.
One, I'll say that the 3-disc Blue Underground edition looked great, but the 4K looks even better, and that's crazy because that 3-discer was one of the best transfers I had seen in a long time. This version is even better. Zombie to me is the coolest thing about it is that it just has so many iconic scenes. Mm-hmm. You have the fat zombie at the beginning on the boat. Creepy. Yes. Gross. You have the shark versus zombie. Mm-hmm. Sharky. Gross. You have the eye splinter.
Splintery.
Gross. You have the zombies rising from the grave.
Gravy.
No.
What?
Wormy.
Oh, wormy.
Gross. You have the final shot in New York where the zombies, like, you know, it's just like, dude, they're so iconic. I've fell in love with Zombie over the years. It's such a good movie. If you don't know, now you know.
Yes, you do.
I give that a 9 out of 10. Then on my run through 91, I watched 976 Evil 2. Follows it's called The Astral Factor is the subtitle. It's like deals with astral projection, like the bad villain guy. The lead is very bland, like Dave says, very boring. The lead chick was kind of hot, and I dug her. And then there's like a cool little mashup with It's a Wonderful Life and Night of the Living Dead, where the character goes into the TV. That was probably the coolest part. Other than that, honestly, I just didn't really care for it too much. I gave it a 6 out of 10, but honestly, it's probably more like 5.5.
Yeah?
Yeah. Then I watched Willard from 2003 as prep for the Teapot Summer series. And I'll say this. Man, this movie is awesome. Like, I like the original Willard. I like the original Ben. But this remake of Willard with Crispin Glover is fantastic. He is so... Like, he really goes for it in his performance. Like, he is awesome. I love the atmosphere of the film. It just feels like... It almost feels like it's, like... has a hint, just a little tiny hint of, like a Tim Burton atmosphere. Just a tiny hint of it.
Yeah.
R. Lee Ermey is a complete douchebag in this film. The CGI is a little bit rough. And there are some script issues that I had with Crispin Glover and like his relationship with like the girl in his office, like just seems to come out of nowhere. Feels super forced. Feels like it's just there because Hollywood says that it should be and because they need somebody worried about him so he can be a little bit more tragic. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I feel like the montage of him like learning, like teaching the rats and stuff, it was way too quick. It feels like he just learned how to do this stuff overnight. Just felt really fake. Then I watched Hellraiser 1987 on the last drive-in. This was actually the second to last movie they showed in the last drive-in from like 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Was it 2018 they did it?
Wait, wasn't it just last year?
The 24-hour marathon.
Oh, yeah, that was 2018, yes.
Yeah. So me and Jeremy stayed up and watched all of it. It was hard. It was horrible. I was miserable. It was such a hard thing to do to watch. I think this was like the 12th movie or something. I think they showed 13 movies. And this was the 12th movie. And by the time this came on, I was completely out of it. I don't remember a single thing about it. So I wanted to revisit it because it's Hellraiser. And Hellraiser has quickly been becoming a go-to horror film for me.
Since when?
Since, like, I've been watching it a lot.
When, this is gonna be my review of Hellraiser that came out. Oh, wait!
Dude, shut up. Dude, why you gotta bring up old stuff?
Oh, I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, so, yeah, Hellraiser, it's kind of becoming one of my favorite movies. Favorite little horror movies. I don't know if did it make my top 50? I think it did. It had to have, right?
I think so. I don't know. I don't remember your life.
Why?
Because, dude, like...
But, man, the coolest thing about Hellraiser for me is its uniqueness. There's just nothing like it, except for, like, 9 Hellraiser movies. And even those aren't all like it.
Yeah.
But there really isn't much stuff like Hellraiser. It's super unique. Like, if you saw a picture of that, you'd be like, what the hell is that? Right? If you saw the pinhead and all the chains and stuff in the back, you're like, what the hell is this movie about?
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's a love story. It's perfect for Valentine's Day. It's just a great, awesome movie. And Joe Bob was very good in it. Very satirical. He has a good segment about the kneeling and the protesting, which funny because it's like super relevant again. Mm-hmm. Who would have saw that coming? You know what I mean? Takes a few shots at President Trump. And yeah, it was a great showing on the last drive-in. So Hellraiser, and I give Hellraiser a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Then I watched the Crazies for 22 Shots Prep. Kind of sucks because I've already watched the Crazies this year.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I watched the Crazies already. I'll be very brief. I'll just say that my second viewing, my thoughts did change a little bit, whether it's for better or worse. You'll have to listen to the review and
Wait
find
a
out.
minute.
What?
You don't get to count that as a watch if you already watched it this year.
Why the hell not?
Because that would be like if I just watched Halloween 500 times in a row and just was like, this is my 500th movie of the year.
It's my 500th watch.
Yeah, but like, we never used to do that.
Letterbox separates them. Like, I was looking at my Letterbox. This is so cool. So, my Letterboxd, I have watched, like, the other day, I had watched it was like 1,992 movies, right? Mm-hmm. So, if you look at it, 1,992 movies.
Yes.
All right. But then I found out that there's a certain aspect that you go onto Letterboxd where, and I've been tracking since 2011, where it doesn't show me here right now because if I'm on the computer it'll show me, but I've watched like 2,500. I've watched 25. I've had 2,500 watches, but only 1,992 individual films.
That is pretty cool.
So almost like 520 films were rewatches. So, yeah. But that's kind of cool. So I've been keeping track since 2011. Now I only kept track of horror until I think like 2019 or 2018. So my count would be much higher. But at the same time, I've been tracking since 2011. And yeah, I'm almost at 2,000 individual films, which is just insane. It's crazy to think that. So yeah, the Crazies counts as not an individual film, but it does count as a watch. It was my 242nd watch. Just because it was also like my 89th watch doesn't mean anything.
Whatever.
All right.
I don't agree, but
so, After that, I watched The Crazies 2010.
Oh, yeah.
And this one is about a same situation, pretty much.
Crazies?
Did you know Crazies is set in Evans City?
Yeah, I did actually.
You know that's only like an hour from us.
I do. They actually do the Living Dead weekend out there too, like they do at Monroeville Mall.
Oh, we should go out one day.
Yes. I think they have the same people there, obviously, but it's it's
just
close
to
like
see the town too.
Oh yeah, I think it's close to like Erie, kind of. It's like on the way to Erie, like
Yeah,
past
it's way shorter than Erie though, because Erie's what, like 4 hours away.
3 hours. I mean.
Yeah, I think this is like an hour.
Yeah, I just know it's on the way. It's like on the road trip there.
All right, so this is the Crazies remake, and honestly, dude, spoiler alert, I really liked it.
Ooh.
Good movie. Good movie. We break it down pretty well in the you know who's in it?
Who?
The dad from Santa Clarita Diet. He's the lead.
Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah.
Olyphant.
Yeah,
yes.
We struggled on his name too.
Yes.
So that's the Crazies 2010. Then we had Right at Your Door. Now, this is a bonus review on that episode of 22 Shots too. But basically, it follows a guy and a girl in New York, or sorry, LA, and he's like a struggling musician, like stay-at-home bum, basically. What I want to be one day.
No.
And she's like the working type and she's the breadwinner. She goes off to work. He's at the house, and all of a sudden there's like a bomb that goes off in the city. And it's like mass panic, mass chaos. He's like trying to go find her. He can't find her. They have the roads blocked off and stuff like that. Over the radio, it says that, it's a dirty bomb, meaning like it's chemical warfare basically. They don't know where it came from, who did it, but like there's all this toxic ash in the air and it's like infecting people, but it's not like zombies, you know what I mean? It's just like they're gonna die.
Yes.
So he's worried about his wife. He decides to lock his house up and tape up the windows and stuff. And then his wife does make it back home, and she's outside, and he's like can't decide to let her in or not let her in because she's covered in like the toxic ash. Very good. I really enjoyed it. I really, really liked it. Very contained horror film. Very psychological in terms of like what would you do and stuff. It's a little good thriller. And then I watched Malefique from 2002 as part of the Teapot's Summer Series. And this film is technically for 2003 for us on the series. But it follows a dude who goes to prison for like fraud or something like that. And in the prison, he meets an old dude who killed his wife, a confused like transgender person. I could never tell if it was supposed to be a female becoming a male or a male becoming a female. I have no idea. I feel like it's a male becoming a female, I think, but I can't tell. And then also like this kind of mentally challenged dude, and they find a book in the wall in the wall of the prison, and it's like a black magic book, and they start reading from it and stuff. Very weird, crazy, out there French film. I've always liked it. Has a cool little story to it, and it actually made my number 10 in my top 10 of 2002 way back in the day.
Ooh.
4 years ago, actually. All right, and then after that, I watched Tromas War on the last drive-in. Still playing catch up with those. This was the week 4. Basically follows like a bunch of Troma citizens who crash land on a plane wreck on an island, and there's like some kind of terrorist organization. I actually did not like this movie. It was painfully long, painfully slow. It's all just shooting and yelling, shooting and yelling, shooting and yelling, and it's just, I didn't really care for it. However, the interview with Lloyd Kaufman on Joe Bob was fantastic. His wife Pat was really awesome, and like I said on 22 Shots, Lloyd Kaufman is a national treasure of horror, and he needs to be protected because once he goes, there will not be another one.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Then I watched House of a Thousand Corpses from 2003 as part of the Teapot Summer Series prep, And, of course, it's Rob Zombie's first film. This is one that has grown on me heavily. Oh, by the way, I gave Tromas War a 4 out of 10. And Malefique an 8.5.
All right.
This is one that's grown on me heavily with House of a Thousand Corpses. Very, very great movie. It just is one that I didn't really care for too much growing up. I didn't really like the music video edits in there and stuff like that. I felt like Rob Zombie was like sucking his own dick.
Yeah.
With like his like masturbatory flavor that was going on in there. Self love of putting his own music in his own movie. But then it also has other music that's good too. There's some good stuff in here, and it makes me like question like how Rob Zombie fell off so much.
I mean, I don't know. I think he just kind of like burned out.
Like, remember the scene where the dad comes in and opens the thing, and there's all the dead cheerleaders, and then Otis is there with the gun and kills the one cop, and it's all done in slow motion, and then there's that like crane shot of Otis with the gun to the father's head, and it stays on it and stays on it and stays on it and stays on it, and then
yes,
love it, dude. It's so good. And then Baby singing, I wanna be loved by you, nobody else but you, right?
Yeah, right, yeah. No, I agree. I like House of a Thousand Corpses. And when I was a kid and I first saw it, it was on TV, and I remember thinking it was just like torture-y stuff for torture's sake type of deal, and I didn't really get much out of it. And then I watched it as an adult, and I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, so I've liked it more and more as I've watched it, and I even don't have as much of a problem with like the end that I used to. I used to hate that crap.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So that is House of a Thousand Corpses. Gave it a 9 out of 10. And then I watched Silent Night, Deadly Night 5 as part of my run through 91. This is the 24th watch of that. And man, have you seen this?
Kind of.
So in other words, you put it on the TV and didn't watch it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I have it on VHS and...
Are you going to rewatch it?
I mean, yeah, I will for 91, and I'll actually pay attention this time.
Okay. So basically, it follows a guy who goes on to... he goes into this store, and the guy's name's Geppetto or something. Joe Petto.
Oh, yeah.
It actually makes sense by the end, but... and he is there with his son... And there's a woman there. I'm fucking butchering this. So basically, a woman has a son, and there's also a crazy toy owner in the town who is like believed to be like killing people with his toys and stuff. And then there's this like drifter guy who like shows up into the town, and he, has a connection to the woman. Basically, they used to hook up back in the day, and he like left town, but she got pregnant, and that's his son. Meanwhile, like there's it looks like Joe Petto, which just to me sounds like a pedophile.
Yeah.
Is his son. It seems to be that he's abusing him in some way, maybe pedoing him. I don't know.
Oh yes.
Maybe not. Mm-hmm. But man, okay, so there's a lot to unpack with this film. Honestly, like, I actually think this movie's pretty good for the 5th Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's the second best in the series for sure, unless you count the remake. That one's pretty okay, too. But Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 5, the cool thing about it, the history of it, is Mickey Rooney. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Who is it?
An actor.
Yeah. He is the lead in Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 5. Now, you might be like, oh, cool, what does that have to do with anything? Well, let me just tell you what that has to do with anything. Mickey Rooney was one of the people to come out and protest against the release of the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. He wrote a letter.
Yes. I know.
And then he stars in Silent Night Part 5. It is hilarious.
That's what you call
it. It is poetic justice.
It is called a Fakerton in my book.
Or poetic justice.
No.
And so To be fair, people have said that he thought it was the film called The Toy Maker. But still, my point remains the same.
Yeah.
I think this movie kicks ass for its ending. The ending is so weird, dude. It is so bizarre. It's not talked about, but it is awesome.
Do you think the makers of this film knew that he did that, and then they were like, we're going to just tell him it's called The Toy Maker, and then
Right,
trick him
yeah,
into
probably.
playing? Yes.
So that is Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 5, part of the run through 91, 6.5 out of 10. Then we got Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street, which is a Shudder exclusive. Did a full review on that, so check it out on the Netflix and Chill episode that will drop later this week. And then last night, you know what? I'm good. I didn't finish it, so I'll talk about it next week.
Yes, you will.
Right,
okay,
good.
so my movies. Get up here. Oh, okay, fine. Anyway, my moves are. Where are my moves? Oh my god, I lost my moves. I have my moves. Okay, anyway. First up, I watched Shaun of the Dead. It was one of the last ones that I had to watch for my 2004 movies. So I figured I would watch it. I'd seen like bits and pieces of this on TV. I thought I'd watched the whole thing before, but upon this watch, I find that I don't think I've ever actually watched this before all the way through. Anytime it's on TV, I'm always at the part where there's like that girl walking around their yard, but and that's kind of it, and I've never really sat through it, and ever since then it's like I've always heard how overrated it is, so it's not one I always wanted to rush to, because I'm not a big zombie fan myself either, so there's that. But yeah, had to watch this for 2004, so put it on the other night, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. It was actually rather funny at times. It kind of has that sort of dry humor that works for some people it doesn't. Obviously all humor is very subjective that way, but I thought it was really fun film. Had some good funny moments, you know, like the part where he's kind of explaining the plan, and he's like, and then we're gonna go to the pub and have a pint, and wait for this to all blow over. That type of stuff just kind of cracks me up. And then, you know, him talking about like killing his stepdad. Whole movie is actually a pretty good film. You know, it does get overrated a lot. It's always comparable even today, being back in 2004. You know, a lot of horror comedies are compared to this and saying like, oh, it's the funniest thing since this. But I like it. I think it's pretty good. So that is Shaun of the Dead. And then next up we have The Forgotten. This was another 2004 flick, and this was a weird one. It was basically
What
was that?
Do you?
I'm wondering what that was. Anyway, this is basically about a mother who is dealing with the loss of her son. It's been about 18 months, 14 months, something like that. So a little over a year since he had passed away in this supposed plane accident. And one day, all of a sudden, it seems that she is the only one who remembers him at all, and she can't understand why. Her husband's like, and the therapist is trying to convince her that she, you know, had a miscarriage back in the day and just made up her son in her head, and she's like, no, that's not possible. How could you possibly forget about him? And then there's this other character in the movie who gets involved with her who had a daughter, and she's like, yo, you know, you had a daughter, they both were on that plane and they both passed away, and he also doesn't remember his daughter. So yeah, the whole movie is basically her, and she's trying to get to the bottom of this because she believes her son is out there, or at least she's just trying to prove that he exists. And then she's kind of on the run from these like agents of sorts. Yeah, so I thought this was pretty good. You know, it's an interesting movie. It's kind of got that like grayish, like depressing look to it. I like the plot. I thought it was pretty cool. It was kind of like one of those frustrating things, and you're wondering what the heck is going on. It plays out more like drama thriller, but I think what turns out to be happening is definitely in the horror realm enough to make it horror. Stars what's her name, Julianne Moore, and I'm actually not a big fan of hers. I think she's very bland in most of her roles, and she kind of is like that in this movie, but it works for her since she is like a grieving, depressed mother, so kind of fits her character. So you know, I thought it was pretty good, pretty solid movie that I had never seen before, and one of those ones I'm glad I got to see. So then after that, we have the Mothman Prophecies from the year 2002, which will mark my 200th film of the year.
Really? I'm at 250.
Oh, well, I'm just saying I feel a big deal should be made.
Swallow was my 250th.
Alright, well, anyway, I'm at 200, which is kind of crazy, because I've watched 100 films since, like, March, is what that means. Over 100 films. And that just seems like a ton to me. But, yeah, the Mothman Prophecies, this is one I'd seen before, and, was pretty bored by it, so I was kind of dreading rewatching it, to be completely honest. It was very hard for me to pay attention to back then, and, it runs almost 2 hours long, so I really just didn't feel like watching it, but obviously I did for 2002 purposes, and I will say it's definitely a better movie than I gave it credit for. It has some good creepy moments to it. I think the beginning parts are solid, and the ending is very haunting, and then you do have some stuff like throughout it that's very creepy, like, you know, the scene where the guy's kind of at the hotel room and he's getting those weird phone calls. I think it's a creepy concept. The whole Mothman Prophecies just idea is frightening. I will say, though, I still find that it drags a little bit. I don't feel it really...
A little bit?
I didn't...
Be honest. The movie sucks.
It doesn't suck, though, dude. I actually came around on it as well.
What?
I don't think you're paying attention.
You were talking all that smack.
I was talking smack before watching it again.
Damn.
But it's not... Shut up, dude. It's not that bad. I will say it's not that bad. It has its creepy moments, but as I was saying, it does drag a little bit, and I don't feel it needed to really be an almost 2-hour movie. I understand, it's kind of got that just, like, investigative, what the heck is going on narrative, and I just get a little bit bored by that. So, didn't really care for that too much, but, you know, I give this, like, a 7.5 out of 10, so there's that. After that, another 2004 movie, and that is Calvaire. Yeah, this is, I believe, a French film, and... Belgium film, same thing. This basically follows this guy who is, a singer, performer type of dude, kind of does his own thing, and he's, performing at this place. It's, like, around Christmas time, and he has to go... I forget, he's like going across the country or just like several hours away to perform at this other place, and on his journey he runs into an issue with his van, so he kind of gets held up at this sort of inn in the middle of nowhere, and the dude who owns it is super friendly and nice, and he's like, you know, I'll fix up your van, you can stay here, it's like an inn, no one really stays here anymore, but you can stay here and I'll cook for you and everything, and I'll have your van up and running and everything will be fine. So, everything does not turn out fine. It turns out, you know, there's some sinister stuff going on in this village, and this guy kind of gets into a crappy situation. So, yeah, I thought this was really, really good. Another one of those ones that I had never seen before and was glad I did. I think, you know, you really just feel bad for your main dude in this movie. He's kind of like in this middle of nowhere type of deal, and he's all alone. He's not with any friends or family or anything. He's just a one-man show, and he gets caught up in this crappy situation, sort of like a captivity type of thing, and it's very eerie. It's got like creepy music, it's got a creepy atmosphere, creepy setting, just a very unsettling type of movie, and it gets rather brutal towards the end. So I enjoyed it quite a bit. I gave that one an 8.5 out of 10. Then after that, I watched Dumplings. This is another 2004 film. I think, yeah, this is actually the last one that I watched. So out of the 2002-2004 films, this was the final one that I had to watch. And this is an Asian movie where basically people go to this woman for her dumplings because they're supposed to like keep you youthful and you know, just make you keep your beauty. The dumplings are, you see, are kind of a little bit gross, and you kind of start to find out what they consist of and what they're made of and what they're all about. And yeah, that's essentially what's going on in the film. You know, you have pretty much this main girl who keeps going to this woman's apartment to eat these dumplings because she wants to look good for her husband, and you know, you find out the husband's having an affair with a younger, you know, just pretty girl, so she wants to get her youth back by eating these dumplings. This was a weird one for sure. I enjoyed it though. It was pretty solid, pretty gross, especially when you find out just how these dumplings are being made and what all was going on here. So kind of disturbing in those aspects. I was trying to eat while watching it, and I thought, like, I probably should not be eating while watching this because I have a weak stomach, and yeah, it was effective with that. So I enjoyed that one quite a bit. I gave that an 8 out of 10. And then after that, I watched a movie called Soul of the Demon, which was a 1991 movie, because I am on that 91 grind. And Soul of the Demon was basically about, you got these like 2 kids who are like ditching class. Well, actually the movie kind of begins at the end type of deal where you're seeing the aftermath of what happens, and you have these 2 kids, they're like skipping class, and they're out in this desert, and they happen upon something, and then this spirit talks to them and says like, oh, all this blah blah blah. I forget exactly what he says, but the kids are like, oh, and then they run home, and the one kid's older brother, he's kind of alone at home because their parents have gone out of town, and you know, the older brother, his friends want him to have this party, so he throws this party, and basically a soul of a demon gets unleashed on this party and starts killing people. So I thought this movie was gonna suck, and I watched it on pretty low quality, honestly, and you know, it wasn't the best thing ever. The acting is pretty cheesy in it, but it was rather entertaining, I'm not gonna lie, and it actually had really good gore effects, so I was pretty surprised by that. The acting, like I said, wasn't great, but it was that sort of just funny acting where you're entertained by it, and the dialogue was just kind of funny in it as well. Just, you know, the one kid's like, oh, like, I don't want to skip school, and then, you know, when the brother's talking to his friends and they want him to have a party, he's like, I can't, there was a note specifically on the fridge saying don't have any parties, and it's just like that really cheesy type of stuff. So the gore alone was pretty impressive to me, but wasn't the best thing in the world. I only gave this like a 5.5, but it was something. I enjoyed it. After that, I watched a short film called The Sandman from 1991. Once again, you know, this doesn't really count, but it was like on a list of considered horror, and it's literally only 9 minutes long, but I decided to just go ahead and watch it. And it's an animated stop-motion short film about a little boy and his mother. They're home alone, and it's bedtime, and the boy goes up to bed. And while he's trying to go to sleep, there is this creepy Sandman character who is keeps coming up to him, and, you know, he wakes up several times and senses something's going on, and but the Sandman kind of disappears and then, you know, comes back. But like I said, it's very short but very effective. I thought it was super creepy. The look of the characters were really, really creepy. The Sandman was scary. The music in it was, like, the score that plays is very creepy. It's a silent short too, there's no dialogue or anything like that, but so it's kind of just a visual type of piece, and the look of it was really solid as well. It just had these pretty blues, and just a very eerie, atmospheric type of short that I really enjoyed and thought was pretty creepy for being just like a 9 to 10 minute short. So I enjoyed it. I gave that like a 9 out of 10. After that, I watched a film called The Resident, starring Hilary Swank. Yeah, I just had this one in my collection. This is from 2011, and figured I would start watching those again because I've been watching pretty much only 2002, 4, and 91 movies as of late, so I figured I would go ahead and get back into watching stuff that I haven't watched in my collection. And this is a thriller. This is actually one of the movies I found at Dollar Tree the last time I had gone, and basically, it's about this doctor woman, you know, Hilary Swank's character. She recently has separated from her husband. I believe he cheated on her, something like that. And she moves into this decent apartment building. It's like a whole apartment complex. And she has this landlord who's just this sort of handsome guy. He's like a handyman too. He's like willing to help her with stuff. Like he helps her take her groceries to the house or just fix up things around the house. So everything seems cool at first, but then she starts to suspect something weird is going on because, for one thing, she keeps sleeping in and not showing up to work in time, so she feels she's being sort of drugged in the middle of the night, or just something weird is happening there, and stuff in her house is being moved around, so, she installs cameras, and things kind of go from there. I thought this movie was alright. It was a little bit generic, just a typical thriller. I wasn't expecting much from it. Being called The Resident, I expected it would be similar to something like Single White Female or Pacific Heights or, any of those like apartment horror movies. And that is essentially what you get. It does have some good moments of suspense in it, but, other than that, I thought it was just kind of okay. It wasn't one that I would run back and watch, but if you're into like these types of thrillers and stuff like that and just want something to kind of throw on, I thought it was decent for what it was. No problems with the acting or anything, just rather generic. But then I watched Taxi Driver, from I think 1976, I believe, with Robert De Niro. What can you say about that? It's a classic film, fantastic movie. It's a good one, obviously, about Robert De Niro plays this young taxi driver, and he's kind of observing the town, and then he slowly starts to kind of, like, he wants to do more, and then he kind of goes off the deep end a little bit, and loses his mind for just a tad there. So, I think this is really good. I saw this for the first time when I was 13, and hadn't seen it since, so it was nice to revisit it, and I really, really enjoyed it. So then lastly, we have Joker. Joker that just came out last year. Good movie. Great movie. I thought it was just as good this time around. Hadn't seen it since I watched it in theater. I know Austin has watched it several times since then, but I really enjoy it. I think it does a good job with demonstrating mental illness, and just Joaquin Phoenix is fantastic, and it's can't say enough good things about this movie. If you never saw it, definitely watch it. So that is all of my moves, and that is the moves, and now we shall move on. Moves.
Which one's better?
I will not tell you that until we record movie versus movie, which you won't listen to.
I'll listen to it one day.
Alright. So, with that being said, would you like to get into our feature review?
Yeah, I don't have any notes because my phone's dead, though.
Oh no!
Because you took 8 hours to record
To what?
To do your what we watched.
You didn't have to be on your phone the whole time, like leaning back, like not listening to me. So.
Okay. So this is Swallow from 2019/2020, I think, right?
Yeah, it's like 2019 on the thing, but yeah, I mean.
So yeah, this is a brand new movie here. So what's the synopsis of Swallow?
A young housewife in a seemingly perfect marriage develops pica, the irresistible urge to ingest inedible objects and material.
Is pica real?
Yeah, I believe so. I've seen it demonstrated.
Who directed this?
Okay, I guess I will stop talking. Carlo Marabella Davis.
And what did he do?
He did things. He did. Hold on.
You should know to have this up.
I don't, because I was doing my reviews and figured you would have it, but you were on your phone,
My
so
phone
it would
was
die. So it would die on purpose. He did Knife Point from 2009 as a director. Okay, dude.
So yeah, he has done pretty much nothing. All of his films are shorts, except for this documentary that he co-directed. So this is his feature debut. And the film Swallow, kind of an interesting movie here. Weird concept here. The lead, I didn't even look her up, but I really liked her. She was in The Magnificent Seven, The Girl on the Train. Let's see, anything that I know her from.
I think she was in the
Hardcore Henry. Christie. She played Justine Christie.
I think she was in the Haunting of one of those stupid haunting movies.
She was in The Hole. Oh, she was in Marley and Me.
She played Molly Hartley in The Haunting of Molly Hartley.
Never seen it.
Me neither.
But anyway, yeah. So like, I thought she just like looked great and had like a good. Her facial expressions were so good.
They were like sweet housewife. Like, they remind me of like a 1950s housewife or something.
So this woman, basically, it follows her. She marries this well-off, like, you know, just what you picture. This kid probably grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. He probably played football. He probably was the quarterback. He probably went to a super expensive college where he got, like, straight A's, 4.0. Got some kind of good internship and got some kind of amazing job, all while his parents bought him cars and houses and the best school and the best, probably had a wrestling coach and probably went to football camp and all this stuff.
Yes.
And she seems like she came from a pretty standard family. And she marries him. It opens up where they're already married. Mm-hmm. Where they're getting married. Are they already married? They're just
I think
married.
that they were just married and they were getting I think his parents bought them that house.
Yeah.
They were having a dinner to like celebrate that.
Yeah. And so they, things start out okay, pretty normal. They're just, kind of doing their thing. She really likes this guy, you could tell. But the family kind of feels overbearing to where you get the sense that they want her to be an exact way. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, they want her... They don't necessarily think that she needs to be like... Like, they don't hate... Like, okay, there's... You see the one way that families can go where they don't approve of the girl because she's not good enough for the son in terms of, like, wealth. Yeah. Like, she's not established. Like, she has no job and career and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But these parents aren't really like that. They're okay with her just being a housewife.
Yeah.
But in doing the housewife stuff, she needs to present herself a certain way, act a certain way, do certain things, eat certain things, support her husband in certain ways. And the family is very overbearing on this. Like, they're very... Oh, man, the writing is really good in this and the acting, too. But, like, they'll say some stuff like the mother comes over and the lead female has very short, like, hair. Mm-hmm. And she, like, grabs her by the face and she's like, you look so pretty with long hair.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what does that mean?
That means you don't look pretty with short hair, and it is a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, it means, like, she's saying that she looks pretty because she does. And she's acknowledging that. But she's also telling you, she's not even... Basically, she's not suggesting... It's not suggestion. She's telling her to grow her hair out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, she does not approve of the short hair.
Yes.
So she wants her to grow her hair out, which I couldn't tell, but did it look like she was doing that in the movie?
I didn't notice that.
Like, I felt like her hair got longer from the beginning to the later portions. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I didn't notice any. I didn't realize.
Yeah, I feel like it got a little bit longer.
Yeah, she planted the seed in her head, so.
Yeah. And then other things like, oh, dude, like, some of my favorite scenes is, like, the one where they're at dinner and, like, the husband is, like, talking and then he's like, babe, tell him that story about the homeless guy. Mm-hmm. And she's like, it's really not, like, anything special of a story or whatever. And then she starts telling, and they're like, no, go ahead. They're all like, go ahead.
Yeah.
And she starts telling this story and she starts going into it. And she's like, it goes on for quite a bit, like one or 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the dad just cuts in and is like, Mike, I forgot to ask you, before I forget. Mm-hmm. And dude, the way that she just sinks into her seat in that scene is brilliant.
Yes, it is very relatable to me. I am Swallow.
What are you talking about?
That has happened to me on multiple occasions in my life.
Why?
Or I'd be telling a story and then all of a sudden I am no longer being listened to by anybody. And then I just, like, my face just kind of drops from that and I have that fake smile.
That's sad.
And a tear in my eye.
That's sad.
Yes. So I can relate to Swallow.
Yeah, well, she needs to be more enthusiastic.
Swallow is misunderstood, okay? What?
Dude, shut up. Her name's not Swallow.
Okay, anyway, this movie was, it was It had some, like, hard to watch scenes, but I thought it was really good. Like, the way it portrays just, like, a mental health problem that can arise from maybe not getting enough attention or maybe just being controlled by an outside force. It's like this girl, you feel bad for her because, you know, it's like I feel the husband does love her, but he is just sort of in his own world and kind of like treats her like an object more in his house. That like he's just like this cute little doll that he can have sex with and then like say, oh, I love you, and buy her like that one part he's like, I'm gonna buy you whatever you want today, like I'll buy you a bracelet, you want me to buy you, or a necklace or a dress, and that's kind of you know, he buys her off a little bit. Like,
yeah, I think that he like, and I was talking to you about this yesterday too, where I was like, I don't feel like the husband is a bad guy at heart. Like, I don't think he's using her. Like, I don't think he's just in it because he can control her. I think he genuinely likes her, but he just expects a certain way because that's how he was shown.
Yeah, he's a product of his parents. You even get that. It's like, you feel like he's kind of like that sissy type of guy who runs to mommy and daddy for everything.
Right.
Like, there's a part in the movie where they're trying to get the girl to do something, like have this kind of caretaker guy look after her, and he's like, and the husband's trying to explain it to her, and then all of a sudden he's like, Mom, can you just do this, because I can't right now. Right. And he like makes his mom take over, and it's...
Yeah, I love the part where he's like flipping out, like when he finds out, because that's how I would react.
Yes.
100%. I'd be like, what the is wrong with you? Like, you're eating freaking tacks and jacks and freaking pins and stuff. It's like, it's scary as hell. That movie gave me mad anxiety with that stuff too. It starts with a marble.
And they like they highlight, if you notice, the swallowing noises quite a bit.
Right, yeah. It definitely uses great sound design, great visuals. It was a very well done movie. Very well done.
Yeah. I think, you know, it's definitely, it's classified as like body horror drama, but I feel like it is pretty much just a dramatic mental health type piece on this woman and all her problems in life. It doesn't really, like, it is horrific. The idea, even the title sounds like it's going to be a straight up horror movie, Swallow. Like, that just sounds...
I'll swallow your soul. I'll swallow your soul.
No, not like that. Yeah, it's for sure not I wouldn't classify it necessarily as horror, other than the horrific idea that she's swallowing things. So
yeah,
there's that. But...
I don't consider it really horror. I would debate, like, honestly, what it would come down to is how strong the year is, if I put this in my top 10 or not.
Yeah, probably same with me, because I like to keep it like more.
If the year was really strong, I would keep it out, because it just, you know, it's not really horror. But if the year's really weak and I'm struggling to find stuff, then I would put something like this in my top 10, if it was strong enough to make it into my top 10 to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really like this movie. I think that the beginning, the setup, how it plays out, I don't want to go into spoilers, but how it plays out with the girl's history and her past, I thought was brilliant. I think this is a super well crafted movie. Everything is deliberate.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's very well put together. You know, it kind of just takes you on this journey. It's very much like a character piece. I mean, you're just following this housewife. She is your main girl, and everyone else is just sort of there, and you're just seeing her alone in her house and doing this stuff behind closed doors, and it's sad. And her voice throughout the movie is very timid too. Like, she's just a very, you know, shy type of girl and won't speak up for herself, but then she's doing this thing, and it's like her way of control, and no one else knows it. And I like that. When I first watched it, I will say, like, it took me a few days to kind of digest it. I didn't know really how I felt about it, but after thinking about it, I like it more and more. It's one of those ones that kind of gets better as you think about it for a few days, even a few hours after. And the fact that I'm still thinking about it means it was successful, because it wasn't forgettable. So
yeah, I thought that the film was like really anxiety inducing. Like, it gave me anxiety.
Yeah,
like, just watching this girl go through like these awkward situations. Like, even even the stuff with that like the Asian girl in the red dress, which was like, you know, after the whole family found out that she was doing this thing, she was at a party and like she's like the Asian's like, oh, I can't eat any more of those, like they'll have to pump my stomach, and then like she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, like I didn't.
Every single person in the party stares, stops and stares, and you just see them in the background all looking at them, and then it's embarrassing, and it's all very relatable. This all feels like stuff that could happen to somebody too. It's not over the top. I mean, you know, you see stuff, that whole eating things you're not supposed to on the shows like My Strange Addiction or My Crazy Obsession, which it's hard for me to watch those because they're disgusting. It's like, oh, I eat rocks, I drink nail polish, and it's a very disturbing thing for sure.
There's a scene where she's laying on the bed eating dirt.
Yeah, and it's funny, when I was watching it, I forgot that you get a scene where she collects that dirt. And while I'm watching it, I'm thinking, oh, it looks like she's eating chocolate. And then I realized, like, when she goes to the bathroom to kind of, like, gag, it's the dirt that she had put in her pockets. And I was super grossed out because it just looks like brownie at first. And she's just chilling. She's, like, watching TV, eating it like a popcorn or a snack. It's really just disturbing. Yeah,
I don't get that mental illness. Like, the like, OCD type stuff, just, I can't fathom it. It just doesn't work for me. It's kind of like moods with like anxiety or whatever, because like I'm just like, just don't do it.
Yeah, I know you are, and you're wrong. I've dealt with these
Hold
problems.
on, I'm wrong?
Yeah, it's annoying when people don't really understand mental health.
I understand mental health. I just like, I don't know, like it just, that would never happen where I came from.
Okay, well, it probably does happen just behind closed doors. You don't know.
No. I'm saying, like the guy who came from Serbia or Syria, where he's like, if you were in war, you wouldn't have time to eat things or something. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I agree with that guy. Like, if you were in a situation where you couldn't, like, get mentally messed up, like you couldn't, like, you don't have, it's like, you can't do that. The OCD one always just, can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, obviously if you're in war, like killing people and you're in the action, you are, but then you come out messed up, you have like PTSD and depression.
That's like, not saying it's better, I'm just saying.
I know,
that,
I'm saying.
Like, okay, if somebody was like, hey, don't swallow this or I'm gonna shoot your mom in the head, you're telling me that you would still swallow it?
No, not then, but like later.
Okay, well, let's say somebody says that, you know, like, that's the way I would just look at it. Like,
yeah, that would, it's like addiction pretty much. You get addicted to a feeling.
I just think it's bullshit.
It's not bullshit. It's like you can't, it's annoying because you can't describe it unless it happens to you.
You don't even have that, so
I don't
know
have
why
that.
You're trying to fight me on it.
Don't have that, but I have like something similar, so it's like annoying because you don't ever explain it to people. Because you know they're gonna be like you and not like understand it.
Look, I know that I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying it's hard for me to wrap my head around, because from like where like I understand that people have like different mental illnesses. Like I have mental illnesses as well, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, that particular one, just it's hard for me to buy. It's
just like the brain is telling I understand it is a weird thing. Like, why would you start swallowing something? Why would you start, I don't know, pulling your hair, cutting yourself, or doing? Why would you start it?
Would though? That's not what I'm saying.
I don't get that.
You don't get why they would?
Yeah, why would you just one day think, let me swallow this marble? I don't understand where it starts.
Well, I think it's a part of like punishing herself.
It's just a weird punishment. Like, it's just,
Right, it is. But it's like, maybe it starts as a curiosity too.
But
you know?
It's your brain getting addicted to habit.
I get it. But look, like, as somebody who has done drugs before.
Okay.
Not me, you.
No, you.
No, I'm just saying, like, as somebody who has done drugs, right? Like, they can't stop because it's like a chemical addiction, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a high, right? But it's an actual chemical going in your body that changes your perception of reality. It's addictive chemical. There is no addiction
But doesn't...
That doesn't, like, I don't believe in non-substance addictions.
Doesn't pain, like, cause that same feeling in your
Not
brain?
that, I mean, minorly, but it's, like, such a minor bullshit that I'm like, it's literally just self-control. Like, okay, you don't, like, you want to, like, don't eat cupcakes. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell me that you're addicted to eating cupcakes and you can't stop. Because it's bullshit. You can, you just don't want to. So once you want to, then you can.
Okay, dude.
What?
Nothing.
You disagree?
I don't agree because I don't come from that realm perspective. So.
What realm perspective?
Nothing. Like I've dealt
don't
with
say
things.
nothing. We're talking about this. Like,
I
talk
know.
About it.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I deal with it.
I just think that it's bullshit because, like, and I'm not downplaying the problem.
You gotta understand.
I'm saying that it's bullshit that you can't stop.
You do it mindlessly sometimes.
Okay, and that's different. That's not you intentionally doing it. I'm saying, like, if there's something that, and sometimes people just want to keep doing it, and that's fine too.
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
Like, if I want to keep smoking, I'm going to keep smoking, right? That's my choice. I'm going to keep smoking. If I want to keep eating Legos, I'm going to keep eating Legos. Like, just because other people think it's bad, I like doing it, so I'm going to keep doing it. That's one thing. What I'm saying is that I can't buy when someone says they can't stop lifting up a toilet seat 10 times before they pee.
I mean...
Now, I am aware that there are cases where somebody's brain is actually damaged and they're doing that, right?
No, I just mean, like, becomes... It's not necessarily that you can't stop sometimes. It's that you feel wrong the rest of the day that you didn't do that. Because I have that problem sometimes. Not with toilet
Now
stuff,
we're getting somewhere. Because I agree with that. Because there's, like, Tourette's, which is that's, like, what is the word?
Addicted? What? I don't know. No. I don't know.
Like, you can't stop it from happening.
Oh, involuntary.
Involuntary. That is involuntary, right?
Yeah.
OCD is completely voluntary.
Yeah, it's just...
Like, you can, like, you can, like, Tourette's, they're gonna do it if you take away their ability to do it. You know what I mean? Like, what would happen if I just didn't let you put the toilet seat up 10 times?
I just wouldn't, but I would think about it all day.
Right. And then once you do it a few times, you realize it's okay. It's okay. I just let it go. It's not a big deal. That's with anything. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's with anything. Like, it's only a big deal because you're believing it is a big deal. The key to defeating it is realizing that it's not a big deal. But these people want you to say, no, it is a big deal. They want people like me to be like, no, it is a big deal. But it's only feeding to that, because as long as they believe that they have to do it and it's a big deal, then it's always going to be a big deal. But if once they believe that it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter.
All right.
What?
I mean, yeah, like, that makes sense, but you agree it is a mental problem, though.
I'm not
like,
saying
it becomes
that it's not.
Addictive.
I'm not saying that there aren't real cases where people literally cannot. Like, it'll, like, ruin their whole day. It'll, like, mess them up. Like, I believe that. I'm just saying that it doesn't help to lean on that and say, well, they can't do anything different.
Yeah.
Because they're never gonna fix that issue. And it is coming from a place of ignorance too. Like, I just don't understand it. It's like it's easier to say that when it doesn't happen to you. I know that. I'm not saying that, like, every single case is bullshit either. I'm just saying, like, I've seen a lot of cases where I'm like, you watch the ones where they, like, eventually fix it, and they're like, all I had to do was let go and, like, just step by step, and I'm like, well, fucking course.
Yeah.
Of course you're fixed now, because you just stopped closing the door 16 times before you went to bed. Like, was it hard at first? Sure. But, like, I don't know. I just think that, like, certain people just wouldn't act that way if it wasn't enabled.
Yeah, I mean, I can buy that.
No matter what, I'm going to come off like the bad guy for not understanding mental illness, though.
Okay, that just made you... that was a douche way of saying that.
Well, I'm saying with that particular aspect.
No, like, I understand what you mean. I do. I'm just saying, like, it is a thing. Like, some people, even people who do, you can get it under control sometimes. You can get things down to a minimum, or you can completely get them under control for a while, but
Look,
sometimes it comes back.
I know what you're talking about. I know you have, like, little quirks where you feel like you have to do things. But even me knowing you, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
You just like doing it.
No, dude,
it's
not like the quirk. I'm not just talking OCD, like, type stuff. But, what, dude? It's not fun. Like, see, like, you're laughing about it. It's not good to laugh.
Dude, listen, I know all about mental illness, okay? Don't come at me like I'm on some high horse and don't understand it. I have plenty of messed up shit going on in my head, too. You know what I mean? You've seen me in my worst. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's bad.
Yes.
It might be worse than some of the people that...
Yes. I know, yeah, I know. You understand, like, the depression, kind of, and you understand anxieties when you're having a hard time in life, but,
the OCD one is hard.
Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, you don't know. You've luckily never had any issue with that.
I do have, like, some OCD, though, but my OCD is I want to do this stuff. I don't have to. It's like a compulsion where I want to do it. Like, if, like, if things aren't, like, done right on, like, the website or something like that, or, like, how we used to do the ratings and stuff, if it wasn't in the exact format, it would get on my nerves.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want it to be like that. It's like a compulsion, but, like, I never felt like I could let it go if I had to.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to.
Right. I do. So.
Either way, that was way too much discussion on that.
Yes.
My point is that Swallow handles it really well, and they did even make me kind of buy it, right? Like, because I said I have a hard time buying a lot of the OCD stuff, like, but Swallow, you know, it handled it well. It makes me believe in it more for sure.
I see, like, I see it as, kind of, you know, the whole war comparison, that guy saying, oh, you wouldn't have time. To me, this woman is a very lonely woman. Her husband kind of neglects her, and then when she has the time to talk, she feels like she's not being listened to, and then she's being controlled by his family, and she's home alone all the time because she's just a housewife. So I very much see it as that she has nothing else to do, and that's kind of her coping mechanism right there. She just is bored with her, not bored, but, like, since she doesn't have all that distraction, it's like, I'm gonna try to just start swallowing shit, you know?
And to kind of go back to a point of what I was saying, to, like, hammer it home a little bit more, there's a scene in this film where she first goes to the therapist, and they're like, okay, like, what's up? And she's like, I just want to figure out why I just want to figure out how to stop swallowing things so that I could get my marriage back on track. Right? That's the wrong answer. Like, so to me, that says that you don't want to stop swallowing things. You just want the problem to go away.
Yeah.
Like, so that right there, she likes to swallow things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't want to stop doing that. Mm-hmm. She just wants the problem to go away. Mm-hmm. So
she is not digging into her own mental
you have to want
health.
You have to want it with any mental illness or even drug addiction, any addiction really. Mm-hmm. You have to want it. Like, if you don't want to stop doing heroin, you're not going to.
Yeah.
If you don't want to stop smoking cigarettes, you're not going to. Mm-hmm. You have to want to. Nobody else can want it hard enough for you to stop.
100.
And I know plenty about that shit.
Yes.
So I guess we can get into some letterbox reviews. We really both enjoyed Swallow. Let's see what these people think. So this person is the negative, 2.5 star. I did not pre-read this. Pink McFlurry, aka Danya. And Danya's favorite movies are The Room, not the Tommy Wiseau one. Her, The Incredibles, and Nocturnal Animals. I do not think, and just based on, like, her watch history, I do not think she is
a
big horror fan. So she said, let's see here. Go ahead and read it.
I love that movies can make you aware of things you were completely oblivious to. I love that they touched on a mental illness that isn't widely covered in media. After seeing this trailer, I was intrigued to learn more about this. My laptop history looks like I'm doing research for a scholarly article on this topic. Hopefully this enlightens more people about this mental illness, because I know it did for me, which is why I always say movies have so much power. I think her eating all those objects was an act of her taking back some control of her life. Everything else was like a dress tailored for her body that she walked in every day. They used her to get the measurements, but she was not a part of the actual creating of the dress, if that makes any sense. Some of the scenes were definitely hard to watch. Not gonna lie, I almost threw up on many occasions. I could not believe what she was able to get down her throat. I thought Haley Bennett was great in this role. Was interesting to see her in a role like this after seeing her in Thank You for Your Service. To be honest, I honestly was expecting this to be more insidiously horrifying and have more depth. It kind of left me feeling like that's it. The characters still felt very surface. Some things did not add up, and it sort of lost my interest midway, but I was still interested to see how it would end. In short, I really wanted more. Overall, I think Carlo Mirabella Davis should be proud. So this girl basically didn't like it because it wasn't horror.
No, that's not why she didn't like it.
Okay, go on and tell me why.
She didn't like it because she didn't get it. This whole last sentence here. This whole last couple sentences.
Oh, yes, okay, yes.
It kind of left me feeling like that's it. The characters felt very surface. None of that is true.
Yes.
And I think that's what Moods' problem was too. I think he just didn't get all the connections and how it all played off each other.
Yeah, he feels that it kind of turned into a different movie in the second act.
Right.
But
yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, so not really that negative of a review though, honestly.
Yeah, like, I was waiting for the punchline.
It was a pretty fair review, just wasn't really her cup of tea. All right, and this positive review is from Lucinda from Melbourne, Australia, and her favorite movies are Twilight Portrait, Florida Project, Phantom of the Paradise, and Reflections of Evil, which I know none of those. It does look like they are a horror fan. Wait Until Dark, they only gave a 7 out of 10 recently, which is, like a 7 out of 10. Interesting. Okay, so their review of Swallow. In many ways, this is a stock standard patriarchy sucks film about a timid young woman trapped in an oppressive relationship. But I love the elegant way it uses unique body horror angle. It is kind of body horror. That's where the horror comes in. An unusual type of self-harm in this form of swallowing objects. So it is self-harm.
Yeah.
To explore issues of a woman's bodily autonomy. Everything comes together beautifully in the ending, which is both perfectly fitting and thrillingly unexpected from an otherwise glossy American independent film. I wish I could be more elegant about the film that really spoke to me. Again, it's not an unusual film in many ways, but personally I found it very special. I agree with everything that guy said. I think he got it, or she got
Lucinda.
it. Lucinda got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. What are you doing?
I was looking at Lucinda to see what she looked like.
You just thought she was a guy a minute ago, and now you're checking her out.
Listen, I just wanted to see what she looked
dude,
like.
You're just...
What?
Get, hop off her stuff.
Okay, I'm just creeping real quick.
No, you don't...
Okay.
She seems boring.
She does seem boring. Okay, sorry, Lucinda. Anyway, she watched 207 movies this year, which is more than you. I would say that she's the true horror fan.
What, dude? I didn't say if you pay any attention to me ever. I watched 211 movies this year, so.
Shut up. All right, so with that said, let's go into ratings. I will go first. Right now, I'm at an 8.5 out of 10. I probably could go higher, honestly. But for right now, I'm at an 8.5. I was at an 8 though.
I am at the same rating, 8.5, which has become my usual rating, it seems. So 8.5 out of 10 for Swallow.
Yeah, you were really high on some of those films that didn't deserve it.
No, I wasn't. But I like what I like. So that is it.
All right, we'll see you guys next time with another review, another Netflix and chill. Peace out.
Peace.